All right, my faithful people, y'all are gonna like me today. No negativity. I'll go ahead and I'll start the first 30 seconds with my negative comment, and then I'm done after that. Okay. This is all we got. That's that's gonna be negative. We're gonna have Happy Ryan today. Um, Portal strategy still putrid, extremely slow, underfunded. Um, Not competing with the big guys for a lot of the big boys. Really missed on a lot of needs. Hopefully we maybe course corrected this weekend and things start to change. I hope it's a sign for good things to come. But again, we're way too slow in the portal. We missed out on tons of skill talent, DBs, wide receivers. Um, a lot of the best have already committed to other schools. We're one of just a handful, three or four that were uncommitted going into the weekend. Now we're not on that list anymore. Um, but a lot of guys are committing to schools like Kentucky and teams that we play. So portal strategy definitely has been a failure overall, but is starting. We're finally closing on some guys. Some guys made some decisions for the good guys, and a lot of these I think are money that we are basically getting and putting towards these portal guys because we're losing some very elite high school talent that you aren't going to be happy to hear about. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. We're gaining but losing, so we're really not gaining a lot, guys. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of a mirage almost at this point. But I will say, if we can only, if Florida can somehow manage to only lose X or maybe just two of these guys and can continue to be successful like they were this weekend in the portal and really get some really good quality players um, by January, and then maybe in the spring portal add a couple more guys. I mean, this roster still needs to have a lot of attrition. Des Watson needs to go. Jalen Humphreys. I don't even know if y'all have ever heard of the guy. He's been here. I think since like 2019 or something. I don't even know how the guy's still on the roster. Had never played a snap at Florida. I mean, just dead weight, getting a free ride off of Florida and just not contributing to the team in any positive way. He needs to be gone. I mean, this staff needs to learn to push people out. A lot of people say people are processed, but I just don't believe that. I don't believe we process anybody. I think guys just leave on their own accord. I'm sure there's some exit interviews and we give our honest take. But heck, think about it. If you're a kid at Florida and you know you're not good, um, and you sit down for an exit interview, and a school cannot make you leave. They cannot pull your scholarship once you've been offered a scholarship. That you're just there until you decide or graduate otherwise. If you sit there and they said, we think you'd be better somewhere else, or we think that you're probably not going to play here, at most you're a practice squad player or scout team, whatever you want to call it, um, and you're like, dang, I'm not going to get picked up by another school. Absolutely, I'm staying in Florida and getting my money. I'm getting my money, bro. I'm getting my scholarship. I'm getting my free meals, my free housing, and I'm graduating with a degree. So you can't blame the kids. It's not the kids' fault. But Florida's got to figure out a way to get some dead weight off this. The guys that actually needed to transfer, there's still a lot of them that haven't. We've lost some that we needed to keep, in all honesty, like McClellan and ETN. The backfield is going to be fine at Florida. I actually don't think that hurts us as much. It's the perception that kills Florida there, and it was one of our best playmakers. The running back room is still solid overall. I actually think you're going to be really shocked to see what Cam Carroll does next year. I think he's going to have ETN like numbers and be a better pass blocker than ETN. I think Cam Carroll's special. Um, I also think that Kaheen Daniels, the freshman coming in, is every bit as good and electric as ETN was coming out of high school. So I think he's going to replace his talent. I think he's going to demand snaps. Another guy, I'm calling it now, a flip prediction from Arkansas on signing day is Jaden Ball. Alabama's been our biggest comp, but I think he ends up a Gator. So look for that. That would be sweet to have two really good backs. I think he's borderline 4 star, 3 star back, kind of like Kaheen Daniels. Daniels should be a 4 star all day. You look at his numbers; they're ridiculous. The fact that kid's a 3 star is Gator bias to me. But yeah, finally we ponied up some money or rediverted some funds from some kids we know are on the flip watch. Offensive tackle Brandon Crenshaw, NFL type talent. All third team Mountain West. And I know that doesn't sound special, but the kid's really good. San Diego State produced some really good offensive linemen. Last year they had a tackle everybody wanted out of the portal. Heard this kid's even better. Probably likely day one starter or rotational, starter reps at tackle. Damian George needs to be moved inside to guard, in my opinion. This guy's coming to compete and probably likely thinking he's playing day one. That's a huge pickup for Florida. We need another tackle. So Michael Tarquin at Old Gator that went to USC, it's a bad look, but hey, I'll take anybody we can get. We're desperate right now at Florida. We need anybody, any way we can get them. Bodies on this roster, good, bad, average, I don't care. We need bodies. It's that bad, guys. We're getting that thin at certain positions that the 4 or 5 win scenario is absolutely on the table. So what we're doing now is improve every person you add. Adds depth. Look how bad depth hurt us this year with the injuries Florida had. If Florida can stay healthy and add guys like this, Florida can actually, manage 7, 8 wins next year. That schedule is brutal. We've got to get this roster up to talent enough to win that first 5, 6 game stretch that's absolutely manageable against average teams, and set ourselves up where we can maybe split the back half or even win a quarter of those games, win 1 or 2 out of those. And I think, I'm telling you guys, if Billy gets 8 wins next year, he gets year 4. He'll get 4 years. And I'll be fine. I perfectly, honestly, would be absolutely fine with him getting year 4 if he wins 8 games, and does it in a fashionable way where, let's say there's still a change needed at offensive coordinator and he makes that change, during the season or after year 3. I'd still be okay with him sticking around. I don't think Florida's ever going to win anything with Billy Napier. I don't think he's the answer, regardless of the good news today. I still think we need a better coach. He doesn't make good decisions. We still need offensive coordinator, no special teams coach. Florida still hasn't hired a defensive line coach. That is pathetic, gentlemen. Absolutely pathetic. I mean, mm, you know, I don't think there's many people on watching right now, or myself, that couldn't manage that better, that situation. That's an adult. Finding somebody to coach the damn defensive line at the University of Florida, where you're going to make multi-million dollars. Multiple million dollars a year is just absolutely insane. With incentives and bonuses, these positional coaches are, probably making close to $1 million a year, 700,000, $800,000. It's nuts that Billy can't find somebody. The DB coach thing with Harris was understandable, but it hurt Florida. It hurt Florida going the route we did to find that coach. I just think it's better not to go after NFL coaches. Get a college guy that's proven. They're more available and quicker. You got to fill those needs quickly. Look at all the other teams that needed coaches. They absolutely did it faster than Florida. But yeah, let's get back to the positive news. Offensive tackle, Crenshaw, stud. Love getting this kid. I'm hoping Tarquin comes back. I will feel so much better about this offensive line going into next season. Actually keep Mertz clean, up in the pocket. Um, Mertz has no excuse if he's sacked or holds on the ball too long. If this line blocks like they can, it's all on Mertz. Put up or shut up, throw the ball down the field. Defensive line, Joey Slackman. This guy is a portal stud. We're talking about a 5-star in the portal, in my opinion. Top 5 transfer prospect in the entire country from Penn. 300 pounds, 6'4". This kid is every bit Brandon Fisk from Florida State that they got last year out of Michigan, Western Michigan or something like that. Florida wanted that kid so bad, and Florida State took our souls and landed him. And that kid was a monster on their defensive line all year. This kid, he's like a clone for that Fisk kid. They could be brothers. Guys, this one's exciting. This is a difference maker on Florida's defensive line. This is an upgrade over anything we have or anything we lost. So this is the kind of people Florida needs to be getting and landing. He's all about it. Apparently, he said he wanted to be a Gator on his visit. He just wanted to mull things over. Sounds like a very mature kid. Never even visited Michigan and shut it down. So officially a Gator. So D-line, position of need for Florida. We need to upgrade. Defensive line was a weak spot. Offensive line's a weak spot. Looks like we're getting better in my eyes at those 2 spots, but we just need more depth. We need more bodies, because you can get talent, but one guy's not going to make a difference. We need a lot more bodies. We need guys. Now, this high school class coming in, supplemented with these transfers, with guys that are already on the roster, the young guys we do have coming back, I think that line's going to be looking pretty nice on defense next year, and I think this offensive line is going to surprise some people. I really do. It's just going to be on Billy to play calling and stuff like that. And Mertz, it's all in them. Lagway's gonna be sticking with Florida. He's gonna be on campus. Billy better not be an idiot. He better give Lagway reps and snaps in every single game his freshman year if you want to keep that kid. He deserves every bit of it. He's probably better than Mertz day one. I'm just saying, guys, he's a generational talent. Um, he's expecting to come into play. He could have went somewhere else and started day one. Freshmen play in college ball all the time now at quarterback. You look at Bryce Young. This kid's better than Bryce Young. Um, the thing about it is, so the A&M stuff, a lot of people were bashing me for that. I'm telling y'all right now, him and his dad, Lagway Sr., came out and said they were doing their due diligence and they still are keeping relationships with those schools because they know Billy is on the hot seat. So they've already got transferring in the back of their mind. If things don't go well, this kid's going to Texas A&M. He basically admitted it in his article where he said, I'm 100% committed to Florida, but it would be dumb for me not to build these relationships with Elko and have an option because you don't know where people will be a year from now. You don't know where people will be in the future. Basically, he's saying, Florida has another losing season like 5-7, and I'm not the guy, or Billy's fired, he's out. I mean, Lagway's done. I don't even think if Billy stays for year four, if we win 4 games next year, Lagway's going to Texas A&M. I hate to tell y'all that, but the writing was on the wall in the comments he made. It'd be a shocker if he flips. You know, would it be impossible? No, because they could up the ante with money and maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. He says he's 100% committed. He sticks. He's Florida's, backup quarterback for at least the next year. That's a positive note for Florida keeping him. What's crazy is how could Florida and Lagway not pull in any talent on offense? I mean, a 5-star running back, Jarrett Gibson, goes to Texas. Wide receiver, putrid. I mean, just average wide receiver recruiting. Billy Gonzalez needs to go. I mean, a couple 3-star, low 4 stars and a 3-star. Well, guess what? His best weapon in this class, his best wide receiver, Isaiah Williams, is going to flip to Texas. He's going to Texas A&M. Um, that's going to happen on signing day, and that's going to suck. I sure hope Florida figures out a way to get that kid to stick because he's got Eugene Wilson type talent. So that was really disappointing for me. I mean, I don't know how. I just feel bad for Lagway at this point. I mean, there's nobody special for him in this class. Can he Daniels? Maybe Jaden Ball if he comes. At least he's got some good backs to hand it off to. But man, I just feel bad for him at receiver. Florida's got to do something in the portal, or try to land a stud. Maybe there's a surprise coming. There's always something. Florida hasn't had any positive news on signing day the last 2 years. No good surprises. It just doesn't happen for us. But that's a big hit. We also landed safety from Oregon, Triquez Bridges. 2022 had a nice season, lost his job in 23. Kind of reminds me of the Michigan safety we took, RJ Moten. This is more of a rotational depth piece, guys. I do think he's better than Moten. Like I said, he had better numbers when he was starting. And he was on a great Oregon team, so good quality program. I like the take. We need bodies at safety. We need depth on defense. We lost Kamari Wilson. I think this guy comes in and gets snaps week one. I think what he's going to do is probably rotate in between Thornton and Castell, a rotational player, have one young guy and one, senior leadership guy with experience on the field that brings that communication quality to it, plays the same defense that Florida plays. So again, I like the pickup. I'm not going to knock it. So 3 portal players, solid guys over the weekend. And these guys all had offers from other schools, decent schools. Some of them not as big name as Florida, Pitt, UCLA, stuff like that. But still, quality schools. Calling and trying to get these guys, and Florida got the job done. So I'm proud of our Gators. Getting 3 transfer commits in one weekend is big time. Now, what's bad is how long it takes us to get on guys and how few visitors we had this weekend. Y'all know we're going in home with preferred walk-ons, and we had preferred walk-ons visiting this weekend, and we had Brandon Crenshaw was like our only visitor. The JUCO defensive lineman never showed up. There was one other JUCO in town, offensive tackle. I'd love for Florida to land this kid too, 6'7" out of Cal, 3-something. I mean, another quality offensive line prospect. So would love for us to get him. A lot of schools after him. But X, Guys, I'm just telling y'all, he's gone. He's Flemsline, the safety prospect, or one of our 5-star players, is going to Texas. I don't think he sticks with Florida. Amaris, the defensive lineman, another big hit for Florida. He's gone. I think he's going to Auburn. That's my pick for him. Those two guys hurt massively for Florida's defense in the future. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I think Adarius Hayes is a troll. And you're going to be surprised what I say. I know he went to Miami, went on the visit, and I know this never happens for us. I truly believe the kid sticks with the Gators and stays a Gator. He says he's going to make an announcement Wednesday. Do I like how he's handling it? No. Do I think it's mature, respectful? No. Um, but I actually think it's more of a troll for Miami. I don't think he's going to Miami. And I might look like an idiot after I make this video, and that's fine. I'm wrong about stuff all the time. But I think he sticks with the Gators and trolls Miami for once we get something, to kind of poke at somebody. Greg Smith, I do think he picks Florida, a projection, project type guy, but still solid. We need him in the class. We need anybody we can get. He's a decent talent, future defensive back. Kind of long to me, a little slow. I don't know what position. I think he's got to kind of grow into his body. He's a big kid. I don't really know where they expect the kid to play, to be honest with you. I don't know where he even projects at. So kind of a weird size to be a defensive player. I think he's just listed as an athlete. Um, Tarquin, like I said, coming back. Y'all be happy about this one, though. LJ McCray, I think he sticks and stays a Gator. I don't think he's going anywhere. That's another one of our big-time prospects. And this kid's going to be a stud and get snaps on that defensive line next year, so just wait and watch. Let's see. What else did I have on here? Transfer. Wide receiver. We covered that. Oh, one more. Safety. Marcus Ratcliffe. He's committed to UCLA. Just landed an offer from A&M in Florida. So I think he's shaky on that commitment. He visits Florida January 3rd. Another big-time safety prospect. This kid's good. So if this kid flips to Florida, major props to Billy and staff and the defensive side. I think here's my opinion on the defensive line coach. We'll have one by the end of the year. I mean, we will have one by January 1st. Is that good? No. I think we will probably not be super stoked about the hire, but it'll be a decent hire. I think we're down to our fourth or fifth option, but I think we're circling the wagons back to some better guys. I think Florida's trying to be very picky about this. So they're really going to look hard for somebody that, wants to be a Gator and committed to recruiting as well. I don't think it's the Duke guy because it's just taking way too long and he's available now. Um, I think it might possibly be an NFL defensive line coach or defensive line, or it's an NFL guy in my opinion. I don't know what position the guy's coming from. It could be linebacker, but I think it's an NFL guy. That's why it's taken so long. So probably in the next couple weeks, we'll get a name announced for us, and we'll see what happens. Um, I had some more news. Oh, I said Jaden Ball. Last one. Big time guy. Really hard to get a read on this kid. Miami's got a lot of hype. Florida's got a lot of hype. Bama, I think he stays in state because his brother. Um, I think Mincy picks the Gators on signing day. I think I'm getting a little bit too hopeful here. I think my heart's telling me Gators, my brain is telling me Gators, but my gut is telling me Miami. So I don't know. I think the kid could go either way. It's a coin flip, but I'm gonna pick Florida for Mincy and say we get him. And if we pull him in, um, forget about X, forget about the other two that left. I will be perfectly satisfied with getting Jaden Ball and Mincy and Ratcliffe in January. That really takes the sting out of some of these guys. The fact, though, that these guys are going to Texas, Auburn, these are guys in the SEC now. I mean, that hurts. Florida way more. We play Texas next year, y'all. That's not a winnable game at this point. We're not beating Texas. This is a playoff team. It's loading up more and more talent. I actually think they're going to come into the SEC and they're going to be at the top right away every year. It's going to be kind of like Missouri, y'all. I mean, people hate to admit it. I hate to admit it. It pains me to see Missouri do so well in the SEC. But guys, y'all got to realize they were a Big 12 team. I'm pretty sure it was Big 12. when they came in, they dominated. They won an SEC title or went to the SEC championship, I think, multiple times. If I can, I'm just jogging my memory now. I'm not looking nothing on paper. But they come in and they've had good coaches. Drinkwitz is a stud. They've owned Florida. I mean, they've got a winning record versus us and blown us out a few times. Um, they've got some big time SEC wins. I respect Missouri in their program. They've got talent on that team. I look for Missouri to be at the top next year. I think Tennessee takes a step back, if you want me to be honest. I think they're very average, another 7-win season. But I really do think that it's going to be Missouri, Texas. Oklahoma's going to be. I think Oklahoma being in the SEC is going to come down to earth a little bit. You'll probably see Oklahoma and Texas. Texas the next couple years is going to be up there with Georgia and Bama. That's going to be your top three in the SEC, and I think Auburn's going to jump up there at some point with Hugh Freeze there. But I think that's like your top four-ish, and LSU at 4 or 5. Um, Oklahoma, I think, is going to be a middle of the pack SEC team, basically, anywhere from fourth to sixth or seventh in the SEC on any given year. I think they're going to be a 7 to 8, 9-win team a year. They're not going to do what they did in the Big 12 anymore. I just don't see it. Um, Texas is more talented than Oklahoma. Oklahoma's had a better schedule, better coaches, better quarterback play until Ewers got to Texas. So we'll see what happens, guys. I know I'm just kind of spitballing here. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Uh, I did get me a deer last weekend, so that was nice. Put some meat in the freezer. But hope everybody has a blessed day. I appreciate y'all listening. That's all I got for today. I'll break down some more if more news comes out. But it's the holiday week, so it'll probably be a little slower. National Signing Day, we're definitely going to hash that out. So as soon as I hear some more, might have another update tomorrow, and then we'll do a signing day post recap podcast. But by the way, I'm not driving. I'm stationary right now. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Go Gators.